Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hello, my beloved friends. Welcome once again to the Joshua Jordan Experience. I'm so glad you're joining us. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to tell you that we have covered now several topics out of the seventh major understanding over more than a year of creating these videos for you. And what I want to do today is something we haven't done since early on in our recordings. I would like to go over with you the understandings 1 through 7. Now, let's just get clear, and I've said this several times as well. There is only one understanding that explains our existence and our place in all of reality, the oneness of all that is. There's only one understanding. And Joshua divided the one understanding into 7 different parts to simplify the training. And that is all. He does not want to divide. However, what he wants to do is segment so that it can simplify the focus of the training. But every bit of what is in the book, The Seventh Major Understanding, is not just about the seventh. It is about the one understanding. Perhaps we should have named it The One Understanding, a message of awakening. And then in the book, went ahead with 7 sections to focus on for explanation. Nonetheless, Joshua refers to his oneness philosophy as the seventh major understanding, and that is why the book is titled that. As a matter of fact, all the content in that book is material that I learned from Joshua or channeled directly from him into writing. You see, Joshua and I collaborated to write the book. This is when our working in concert really began to develop. In that, of course, Joshua, not having a physical body and not knowing about typing and computers and so forth, leaned on my experience, my interface with this reality to type the book. And yet all the thoughts and ideas downloaded into the book, The Seventh Major Understanding, came from Joshua originally. As I learned the seventh major understanding, I also developed my own way of teaching it. And yet any time I strayed off into something that Joshua found inaccurate or off course, misleading, he would always bring me back. And part of that was the challenge of learning to speak his language of unity and addition and multiplication and stopping my habits of separation. So there is only one understanding that illustrates the integrity of our reality, and all separation is an illusion. Please keep that in mind as I go through these segments of the one understanding. So the first major understanding is how to operate in physical reality. It's about physical nature. So in order to have a body and operate in the physical plane on this journey of a lifetime, we had to learn what are the rules of physical reality. How do I maintain and manipulate a body? How do I keep all this stuff together that I call my body? So the first major understanding had to do with learning how to operate in 3-dimensional reality with the laws of physics applying to our physicalness. At the same time, there are parts of us that remain non-physical. And that leads us right into the second major understanding, which teaches us the characteristics of what I call psychological interaction. So mind. Joshua tells me that mind is the bridge between our physical dimension and our non-physical self. So mind itself is not a characteristic of our non-physical self. It is a bridge that takes us to our non-physical self. So if we look at a triangle, let's say, and we label the parts of the triangle as body, mind, and spirit, right? Three equally valuable parts of the whole, right? Inseparable, body, mind, and spirit cannot be divided into their parts, for they rely upon each other, depend upon each other. But let's say body is physical and taking shape in this dimension, and mind is a bridge between that which is physical and then spirit, absolutely, completely removed from any manifestation of physical characteristics. So the mind, body, and spirit are bridged by mind. So body and spirit are bridged by mind, but without mind, we would not be aware of body or spirit. So all parts are equally important. But the second major understanding is that we had to learn how to bridge between mind and spirit. The third major understanding then goes into our power to create reality. Yep, you are a powerful creator. The creator created creators. I will say that again. The creator created creators. You are a creator on this planet, a powerful creator. Every part of your own reality you have created, all of it. And I know how difficult that can seem sometimes, to have to take responsibility for the parts of my reality that I don't like and don't want. Why are those there? Why did I do that? Yeah, that takes us into mind. Why? Why? I am a powerful creator on earth, and I am learning how to create the reality of my desires. And I am also learning lessons that I attract to myself, either consciously or unconsciously, so that I can gain a greater understanding of all that I am. So the third major understanding also goes into what Joshua deems as an abuse of power. An abuse of power is any time you think you have power over another being, power over another group, or power over anything other than your own reality. Joshua calls that an abuse of power. And any time we abuse our power, we get a lesson. We have attracted it to ourselves by abusing our power. Now, this is Joshua's interpretation of the use of our power and how we learn what is right use of power and what is not. The fourth major understanding is one of my favorites because it is about our role as stewards on the planet. We are the planetary custodians. We have been granted the power to serve this planet with love and attention. We have been granted the power to take care of our home. As you know, Earth is our only home. for now, and we must treat our home with respect. We don't want to trash the house. We're not just renters here. We live here. We own it. And if we trash it, we will learn a lesson. The lesson comes, right? Now, of course, I've told you that in the multidimensional reality, in the multiverse, if you will, there are so many different Earths. I cannot count them all, upon which you may manifest, even in your own time frame. So there are plenty of options for you to play out whatever role you wish to play upon the earth. However, in the golden age, Joshua says, humankind will fulfill our role as planetary stewards. And we'll love it, and we'll be happy, and the earth will be abundant. The earth is always robust and cannot die. We're not killing the earth by any means. What we are ruining, though, is the environment that is conducive to human inhabitation. So think that over. We are completely dependent upon this earth. In fact, we are made of earth. The minerals in your body are the same minerals found on this planet. There's nothing in your body that's not found in the earth. And the reason the earth and the body are made up of the same minerals and chemicals and elements is because we're all stardust. We all came from a supernova some other time. All right. So moving on. The fifth major understanding is all about our freedom. Yes, our freedom of choice, our free will, our freedom to make this place, my life, what I want it to be. I have that freedom. Absolutely no one has control over my thoughts, my feelings, my choices, my values. Mine, mine, mine. Now, I can be influenced by others, but no one can make my choices for me. No one is responsible for making my choices for me. If I have surrendered my ability to make my choices to someone else, guess what? That was my choice. In other words, I turned to you to say, what should I do? And then when you told me, I did it. And then if it went wrong, I could blame you rather than myself. Isn't it amusing sometimes how the mind functions? So, even if I'm allowing someone else to make my choices for me, that's a choice that I made. The fifth major understanding is about our freedom. Now, I've also talked about the fact that there is destiny. There are things you are destined to do that you cannot escape, such as fulfilling the purpose for why you came into this lifetime. You cannot get out of it. It's going to happen. So, how does free will and destiny work together? That is paradoxical. And I've spoken about that before. But to get more in depth into it, be sure to read about the fifth major understanding. The sixth major understanding reveals that we are participating in a spiritual family. Of course, I am one with all that is. I am one with all humankind. I am one with all animals, all flora, all fauna, and yet I have a spiritual family for which I am most closely associated for my own fulfillment of my karmic plan, of my life destiny. I have a spiritual family. Now, Joshua tells me in each lifetime we do meet people that we have not encountered in other lifetimes. And yet, the majority of people that you will connect with in this lifetime, you have known before in other place with a different face. So it is understandable that spiritual family makes a commitment to each other, just like biological family is committed to each other in some ways. And yet you can walk out of your biological family. You cannot walk out of your spiritual family. Cannot be done. So there is a group of people in which you incarnate with for the purpose of fulfilling each other's play upon the stage. And each of you is here on your own mission and journey, and yet you play a role for one another that you agreed to before the lifetime. So even members of your spiritual family that might annoy you or challenge you or cause you sorrow, there's a purpose in that. There's a reason for it. And you can let it be and let it go, or you can examine it, analyze it, perhaps come to grasp. Neither pathway is required. It is up to you. That is your free will. Now, in your spiritual family, you also are playing a part of group soul for animals. There are species for which you are energetically animating at all times, and yet you're not aware of it. But you may feel a certain affinity for certain animals on the earth. You are drawn to them. They mean more to you than other animals upon the earth. And you will find that with the billions of people on the planet, there are more than enough people concerned with sustaining each species. So it's not important that perhaps you're not in the hippopotamus spiritual family, but you are associated with horses. You know, it's not that you have to support all animal group spirit all the time, all life at all times. You do get to share your energy with specific groups chosen for this particular spiritual family. So, in my spiritual family, I've told you I identify with eagles and so forth. Now, there are also minerals that you represent. Yes, you energetically sustain certain minerals upon the planet. You sustain certain chemicals. These are all a part of your spiritual family. So, family doesn't always mean people, right? It includes animals, minerals, and so on. Now, we come to the seventh major understanding, and why Joshua refers to it most often. You see, the seventh major understanding is the understanding of the unity, the universal connection of all that is, the inseparability of all that is. All is one. For me, that is a statement of fact. For others, it is a statement of belief. And that's all right. As it is a fact in my life, I create my values around it and do my best to live in oneness with all that is. Now, what are the key pillars of the seventh major understanding? There are three. And of course, what I just spoke of, all is one, and there is no exception to that. All that is emanates from one source. There's one creator. There is one mind here. There is one being here. And I love you. The second is that we create our own reality. Now, I talked about that a little bit in the third major understanding, that you are a powerful creator. And then, of course, the recognition that Time and space are illusions of separation. And we created, together with the source of all it is, we created this idea of separation so that we could act out a play upon the stage of what we thought to be a very real physical life existence. You see, these three principles of oneness show up in 1 through 7 of the concepts, the tenets of the one understanding. These three pillars, all is one and there is no separation. You create your own reality. Time and space are divine creations, and they are illusions of separation. Don't be fooled. So, Joshua selected these components as the parts of the one major understanding to simplify its teaching. And he speaks most often of oneness because it binds all of this understanding into one. Thank you for listening, and I will bring Joshua in at this time to speak to you. Hello, beloved one. I am delighted to be in this moment speaking to you. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I have shared with Jordan what I labeled the seventh major understanding eons ago. And in this age, in this dawning age of human awareness and awakening, I have chosen Jordan as my direct channel because of our ability to seamlessly connect, that Jordan can drop all barriers between himself and my energies so that I may come through without any distortion from Jordan. Now, I want you to know that I have also spent what would be deemed as decades of your time with Jordan, which to me happened in seconds, to teach him the seventh major understanding. He has a very vast and deep grasp of all that I have shared with him during that time. So, when he is speaking during what he has called this Joshua Jordan experience, he is teaching you what he has learned from me. And he is my authorized teaching assistant. So please do give him the credibility he has earned through the decades of study he has done. You will find his wisdom is uncommon, as what I have taught him is not common. And it is wise for you to listen. Spiritual family, I am calling you. I have been calling you now for some time upon the earth. And you know my voice. You know I have called you. You are listening to me, and I want you also to be listening to Jordan, because he is a human just like you. And he can give you guidance. I'm not saying he must teach you anything, for you already know that which you need to know to follow your mission. And some of you know that a part of following your mission is to become a student of Joshua Jordan. I am ready for you. Jordan is ready for you. And the time on the planet is now. Thank you so much for paying attention to our teaching of the seventh major understanding. It is through the seventh major understanding that humankind will awaken to a whole new way of living with one another upon the planet, bringing forth an age of compassion, readily shown to all that dwell here, human, animal, mineral, whatever you materialize as. And also in this age, there will be peace among the nations. Yes, nations will still exist. It is your individuality, your ability to have your own culture and experience the world slightly differently in your spiritual family. So, yes, there will still be nations, and all nations will dwell in peace. In addition, all nations will learn how to coordinate and cooperate in the sharing of all resources so that there is an abundance of clean water, clean air, and nurturing foods to sustain human life. Yes, this age is coming, a time of creativity, a time when some people will return to an agrarian way of living as it appeals to them. And that is their calling, if you will, to bring forth a new agrarian age in which chemical treatments for pesticides are no longer necessary, in that you will discover how to harmonize your earthly productivity so that chemicals are not needed to keep balance here or to eliminate destruction of crops. You will find that when you have things flowing in the balance, nature takes care of balancing herself. All you must do is nurture her with love and attention. Also, in this age, there will be a new way of cooperation between humans, families, communities, regions, nations, and so on. A new way of treating one another with the respect and love you deserve, you see. For there's only one being here, and you will begin treating one another with that knowledge. I am another you, and I will treat you as I want to be treated. You know, it's just this simple. Love one another. How hard is that? Well, once you release your fear of each other, you will find loving one another comes naturally. And with that thought, I will bid you a good day. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun.